Hola chicas, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share my career story, the story of how I became the girl boss that I am today, and hopefully inspire you through my story to chase after your dreams. But before I start talking about my story and how I got to where I am today, I want to thank Victoria's Secret Pink for sponsoring today's video, and stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing how you can win $10,000, yes, $10,000 to help empower and inspire young women in your community. I think I could say that I'm pretty successful because I get to wake up and do what I love to do every single day. Right now I'm doing YouTube full-time, and I'm also running and planning the Fresno Women's Summit, and that's what I get to do every single day. But it wasn't always like that. I had to work really hard to where I am today, and so I want to backtrack a little bit. So ever since I was little, I always knew that I wanted to work in media, but I didn't know exactly how to get there, and also my parents didn't know how to pave the way for me to get there. And in my family we never discussed higher education. It wasn't until a high school counselor approached me and asked me what I wanted to do after college, and I pretty much told him that I didn't know what I wanted to pursue. I didn't even know if I was going to go to a university, and he pretty much told me that there was a lot of financial aid out there and that he could help me go and attend a university. So he helped me apply to different colleges and universities all across California, and that's how I ended up at Fresno State University. And I ended up graduating with 2 bachelor's degrees, one in broadcast journalism, the other one in sociology. And all throughout college I was really involved. I did internships, I worked 2 part-time jobs, and I was heavily involved in student organizations, and I even joined a sorority, and I eventually became the president of that sorority. And through that organization I gained a lot of confidence, a lot of leadership skills that I still use till this day. After graduating I booked a one-way ticket to New York City. I had no plans to come back to Fresno. My plan was to stay in New York and just work my way up. I went to do an internship at a really big magazine, and I left with just my credit card. I would never advise anybody to do this because it was a really rough time. I couldn't even call my parents and ask them for any money to help me pay rent or buy groceries. I was truly just out there on my own, and it was a really rough experience, but also really rewarding. I had a lot of fun, and the whole time that I was out there I just couldn't believe that I had actually got myself to work at this magazine. I got to attend several fashion shows during New York Fashion Week. At one of the shows, Paris Hilton was literally standing right in front of me. It was such a surreal moment, and there was even a moment that I got a little bit emotional, and I actually started crying during New York Fashion Week because it was just such a surreal moment. Through this internship I was working up until 12 hours, and they were unpaid, unfortunately, so it was pretty much up to me to find the means on how I was going to pay everything. And you guys know what, New York City is really expensive, so there was times where I was just pretty much eating top ramen. I ended up getting really creative on what I was putting in my top ramen. I was putting eggs and sausages, and it was just like a time where I had to be really scrappy and savvy with what I was doing with the limited resources that I had. But it taught me a lot. So after living in New York City for 6 months, I realized that that was not the place that I truly wanted to be. So I flew back to Fresno, California, and I started working at a local TV news station, and that's where I worked up until 2 months ago. So I was there for about almost 4 years, and I was working as the digital producer. I was in charge of managing the station's website and running social medias and making sure that we looked good and that you had the stories that you wanted to see. But while I was at the news station, I also also started my YouTube channel, and while I was there I started to develop a bigger passion for YouTube and what I was doing here on this channel, and just the community that I was cultivating here and the connections that I was making with you guys. I just saw myself growing a lot more and getting a lot more opportunities through my YouTube channel, and I decided that I wanted to do YouTube full-time, and that's pretty much where I am today. But also, while I was working at the news station, I co-founded the Fresno Women's Summit along with Amanda Valdez, and she's also a YouTuber, which is a one-day event where creative entrepreneurs meet and get to learn from each other and inspire one another. They get to listen to panels and they get to attend workshops, and it's pretty much something that we didn't see and that lacked here in the Central Valley. So while I was at the news station, I was pursuing two side hustles. I was doing my YouTube channel and I was also running the Fresno Women's Summit, and both of those things I feel like I wasn't taking them as seriously as I could. It wasn't until I took a mastermind class that I realized that I wanted to live my life with passion. And the last year that I was working at the news station, I just felt that I wasn't living true to who I am, and I just wasn't as happy as I thought I was going to be just pursuing this career. And it's not to say that I'm never going to go back into that industry, but for now I feel like I want to focus on growing my YouTube channel and also growing the Fresno Women's Summit. Doing what I truly love to do has brought me so much joy. So whatever you decide to pursue, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, you have to feel it in your bones. And if you are not, then you are not living to your true purpose. And I also want you to remind you guys that no matter what background you come from, any dream that you have is achievable and attainable. Growing up, I didn't have those resources to get me to where I am today. I never gave up on my dreams. I always knew that I wanted to work in media in some capacity, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. But I trusted the process, and I knew that if I just followed what I wanted to do, I was going to get there. And my goal was always to inspire and empower women, and sometimes those avenues can change along the ways, and sometimes we're gonna feel a little disappointed, but you can't get discouraged. And sometimes we have a bigger purpose in life, we just don't know it until later. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I never felt really discouraged with what I was doing, but eventually that job led to where I am, because if I hadn't pursued that degree, maybe I wouldn't have fallen in love with YouTube and started doing all of these things that I'm doing now. And sometimes life is going to lead you in a different direction that you didn't even know was possible, and you just have to trust the process and believe in yourself. So now I want to take the time to talk about the contest that I talked about at the beginning of this video. So Victoria's Secret Pink is hosting their first Girl Power Project contest, where 20 girls between the ages of 18 to 25 can win up to $10,000. Yes, it's a $10,000 contest to help develop your own original ideas to empower and inspire young women in your community. So all of the rules are going to be in the description down below, along with any other links. And you guys can also download the Pink Nation app, which is going to have all of the contest rules, so you guys don't want to miss out on this amazing opportunity. So you guys have to go apply, and this contest is going to be open between February 5th to the 28th. So you have until the end of the month to enter this contest. And with that being said, if you guys are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to click that red subscribe button down below. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed my story, my career story today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.